for our panelists, we'd like to welcome Kristy Yong, the Executive Director of Miss Read.
Hi, good
Hi,
morning.
Kristy. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Great, thank you. Thanks for having us here.
We're more than happy to have you here at the SME Digital Summit. Moving on, we also have the one and only Tiara Jacquelina, the Chief Dreammaker of the Enfiniti Creative Universe and the founder of the Enfiniti Academy and the creator of Tiarasa Escape Glamping Resort. Hi, Tiara.
Hi.
Looking good?
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
All right, super. And finally, we have Lennise Ng, the CEO of Dropee. Hi, Lennise. Nice to see you again.
Hi, great to be here with everyone today.
How have you been?
Pretty good. And yourself?
I'm doing good as well. I love the fact that this is like full-on girl power on the screen right here. Yeah. So let's give ourselves a round of applause. Girl power. All right, fantastic. So Nina, you know how this works here, 40 minutes, and as and when you please, just go ahead and answer any of the questions that might be coming in. Or if you need my help, just prompt me and I'll be back here to help you.
All right, sounds good.
The screen is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'm going to begin with introducing our amazing lineup of speakers. Great morning. Hope you guys are doing great and having an epic day so far with all these amazing panel sessions. Now, speaking of panel sessions, I'm so honored and humbled to be invited by MDEC and Exabyte to moderate this next session with Malaysia's most iconic women entrepreneurs. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if you're really excited, hit the comment section, the chat section, and just say, hello, yes, I'm totally excited. In fact, throughout the session, if you guys have any questions, just type away. We're going to make this truly interactive. If you have anything at the top of your mind, just type in the chat function, okay? Now, without further ado, allow me to introduce you to our amazing lineup of speakers. The first is Kristy Yong, the Executive Director of 3 homegrown Malaysian women, not just Malaysian, women's wear fashion. We're talking Miss Read for the curvy UK 12 to 24 women, DD Collective, a contemporary women's wear label, and the new to market digital first, which I'm really excited to hear about, Awi, which is by the millennial community for the millennial community. She operates over 25 stores, not just in Malaysia, but in Singapore as well. And they also have a strong online presence, retail presence to boot. Now, our next panelist is Lennise Ng, who founded Dropee in 2017 with the aim to revolutionize the way businesses trade and transform the supply chain industry via digitalization. Now, before that, Lennise is I'm telling you, this panel is amazing. She started her own talent management company at the age of 19 and successfully turned it into a profitable one within 11 months. She was also responsible for bringing a startup from San Francisco called Yelp into Kuala Lumpur and was appointed the youngest Yelp country launch manager. A truly startup cheerleader, Lennise is also an active mentor for Techstars. And of course, our last panelist, who does not need any introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Tiara Jacquelina, Chief Dreammaker of the Enfiniti Creative Universe, founder of the Enfiniti Academy, and of course, creator of Tiarasa Escapes Glamping Resort, which you can see from her background. Now, I cannot really explain how much Tiara has achieved to do her justice, but she is an award-winning entrepreneur, producer, director, actor, also a digital storyteller, arts educator, and creator of worlds as spectacular as you can imagine, with her work spanning 20 years of dream making and pushing boundaries, not just in film, TV, musical theater, arts, education, and tourism, and hospitality. So ladies and gentlemen, I kid you not, we have an amazing panel lineup of speakers, Tiara Jacquelina, Lennise Ng, and Kristy Yong. Welcome, ladies.
Woohoo!
Thank you. Amazing, right? Pumped up. All right. Okay. So let's, because we're running late and it's 11:11, it's a good luck number to start. So let's start at the very beginning. Perhaps each of you can share in your own words, what were your plans for 2020 before the pandemic happened? And then the pandemic happened. And how did this impact your business?
Who starts?
Whoever's ready, just jump in.
Oh my God. Okay, I'll start. Well, for a start, Puteri Gunung Ledang was going to be the biggest show of the year this year, and we started selling tickets from last November. We had sold 7,000 tickets since November, and then the pandemic hit, and we were stuck. And now we have no choice but to postpone it till next year.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you do anything? So that happened. Okay. Did you do anything how did you deal with it?
Well, we couldn't really deal with the pandemic or putting on a show when the theaters were closed. But what we did was we decided to, well, after 3 days of like like blurring out and like I needed this time to sleep. I was just telling my team, you know what, this might just go on for longer than we thought, and the theaters might be closed for longer than we imagined. Let's think about how we can bring our shows online so we can get people to watch our shows wherever they are. And we did that. So we wanted to just educate people to expect to watch shows streamed online, and started a video on demand channel. It's called Enfiniti.Asia. And today we're putting on more and more of our shows. And the blessing in this all was that people were watching it from their homes, of course. Not Puteri Gunung Ledang, but our past shows. We're just trying to slowly build an audience. And we realized that our dream of bringing our shows to the world just came true, because we had people watching the shows from the UK, from Australia, from Dubai, from Korea, and Brunei, Indonesia, Singapore. So that's, yeah, it was a little blessing.
But of course, after you went through the right? We all go through that, right? What about you ladies, Lennise and Kristy?
Yeah, so at least from my end, we initially wanted to expand our presence across Southeast Asia. Our main goal was to also open a new office in Indonesia. However, with the whole pandemic, that thing happened with borders closing, economies like shutting down or at least going on lockdown. So that's where we had to take a step back and re-look at when shall we actually go into it, and whether are those markets ready for us to enter. Yeah.
So what happened in the end? How did you shift it? Or how did you adapt to the situation?
Yeah, so we can't do much similar to Tiara, right? Like myself and my team, we were like, for a few days, we're like, oh my God, what's happening here? And we had to really scramble the whole team together, make a lot of calls with our partners overseas as well. We do have a few investors in Indonesia, so they actually are feeding us information on what's going on ground in Indonesia. So that's where we had to make the tough decision to not expand, not continue our expansion and open our new office in Indonesia in 2020, and we had to postpone it to next year. When next year, we don't know. It really depends on how the economy and the whole situation is turning out. So yeah, we have to be flexible and adaptable in this situation. So that's where my team and I are like, getting ready for anything to happen.
Right. Okay. So I guess you guys are just waiting and seeing when's the best time to kind of go back into the market and stuff like that. In the meantime, preparing yourselves. Right.
Correct.
Yeah. I think we call it the I don't know, the elastic approach, where you get everything ready and then once the market opens up, you
I like the analogy.
Yeah, because I've been reading about how businesses are pivoting, right, kind of thing. What about you, Kristy? I mean, there's a guy here, Rohailan Ramli, saying Zara is closing down stores as they are slow to adopt digitalization. Really? What's your key takeaway? But let us know what your plans were to begin with, and then it happened. What did you do? How did you deal with it?
Yeah, I think it was a flurry for all of us, I would say. But I think the point being that 18 months before COVID happened, we had mapped out our digital roadmap. And even then, when COVID hit, the questions from how are we going to afford this suddenly became straight into survival mode. There was no option, right? So in a way, like the blessing in disguise was that COVID helped us accelerate this digital transformation. And I think echoing what a lot of the earlier session of the panelists said in digital leadership, digital transformation really isn't about a destination. It is really a journey that involves all levels of the organization. It's group-wide. As long as you have a mobile phone, you can be digital, So I think COVID really helped us with that everyone saw the importance, because we have been running 24 stores offline and then 2 online platforms, for Misread, DD Collective, and then now the third one being Ori. all the focus suddenly just became online, 23 years in brick and mortar, 41 years in manufacturing. None of that history mattered anymore. It suddenly was just one platform, and you either do it or you don't. And the thing that really was remarkable and still continues to inspire me every day is how the team just got it together, and immediately we set up a crisis management team called Mystery Group Hope. And from there, everybody just immediately knew what needed to be done. And of course, having said that, during the time, it wasn't always smooth sailing. It was very frightening.
Right.
I mean, I think we're all human at the end of the day. It was really quite scary.
Yeah.
But I think this gave us the opportunity to look in hindsight on how we've come. We're slowly getting out of this.
Okay.
Back to you, Nina.
Okay, so talking about that scary part, I think this is unprecedented times. I mean, there's no references. So how did you guys know what to do? I mean, first of all, how did you deal with the whole situation? Because it was scary. Some people cannot move forward because they're like, kind of thing. How did you deal with it? And number two, how did you guys decide on what to do since there was no reference that we could turn to? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll.
Kristy. Yes.
So immediately in the crisis management team, we worked on 3 pillars, which was business continuity, cost control, and cash management. And then on the comms front, our head of brand experience came out with a campaign replacing the words of I, my, them with we, our, and us. And that helped us communicate internally and externally. I think a lot of this stems from having the mission, vision, and values very clear throughout the organization. And that's what helped us and is still helping us navigate through this.
Okay, got it. Lennise, what about you? What was the thought process? Because there were no references. How did you guys decide on what to do?
I think it's going back to basics, right? Being able to openly communicate with the team. And being able to rally them up together. So in this pressing time, is to ensure that your whole team can move towards the same direction with you at the same pace. So having that, not only having the mission, vision, that's very important, but also constant communication. And especially when all of us are working from home, how do you constantly communicate with them, So we bring on, when we do comms online, we also need to make sure that we recap it so there's people who are, to avoid any misunderstandings in where the next step of the move of our business or the strategy, where do we go next? So, but other than that is to also really look into, the fundamentals of the business, like where are your costs being incurred? How are you making your revenue? Do you need to change? Do you need to adopt a new business model, etc.? So those are the things that is like a perfect time to really do a reflection and a deep dive into your business and really figuring out, is there any changes or pivots that you need to do?
Right. So basically, it was like starting a new startup, or kind of re-looking at our business model canvas and all those kind of things, right?
Correct. And to make sure that you don't feel like you're failing your old business. It's not a failure. It's about really adapting and really changing as time goes by. Yeah.
So with one of my interviews earlier on our show, our panelists actually said that actually the market is still there. It's just that the way they consume is different. And so you need to kind of tweak it towards a new market. That's what they said, which I think is really, really true. There's a question here. Lennise, do you mind sharing what your business model looks like? That's from Melody. Yep.
Yeah, so we have 2 types of business model. So for our marketplace, where retailers can just jump over to our platform to find the right suppliers and the right products for their business, we actually take a percentage, like a commission, for every single transaction. And we charge the suppliers that list their products on the platform. But on the other hand, this is actually our best-selling product right now and during this pandemic, right, is our software. So our software tool is to actually enable B2B businesses bring their wholesale traditional businesses online. And we create a very simplified sort of version so they can actually now connect to their retail customers and to their wholesale customers without being there and servicing them in person. and the whole experience is the same, right? So the goal for us is to actually, and with that software, we actually take a monthly subscription fee.
Wow,
So,
okay.
Yeah,
So if they want to know more about this, they can go to your website, right?
definitely.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Now, Tiara, what about you? I mean, these unprecedented times, there were no references. So how did you guys decide on, going live? I know there was a lot of Andrew Lloyd Webber shows going on, and we were like,
yeah. So, well, everything the Enfiniti group is really, we create experiences. So we're creating classes for people to learn performing arts. We do corporate drama-based corporate training. So all this came to a grinding halt, and we decided to just put everything on Zoom. So our performing arts classes continued throughout MCO on Zoom. So Joanna Bessie and her team continued to teach drama and singing and dancing. Well, not dancing actually, just the singing and acting online. We even started doing our corporate training online, doing leadership and team building activities, which would have been in person, online. So basically, it was just one day when we sat down, all our HODs, and we said that, you know what, we knew this day was coming and we've been slowly working towards it, but it just has dropped upon us, and we have no option but to just adopt this and just like everyone just learn everything digital immediately, go on webinars and just, so even in the performing arts, we were always trying to push the envelope in as to how can we digitize and how can we introduce a digital element to performing arts, which, some people, the purists would have frowned upon. But I just said, you know what, we have to move with the times. We can't just stay the way we are. So if using animation on screen, on stage, helps us make our shows more wow and takes it to another level, why not? So we've been just, whatever we can do to digitize everything. And of course, at Tiarasa Escapes, it's the hotel booking system is all online, and we're using social media to shout out to all our customers to say we've reopened, what have we done to make it a safer and more enjoyable stay for you. So that's,
okay, fantastic. I'm gonna ask a really difficult question because I hear a lot of people were let go and stuff like that. Did you have to make any hard decisions about letting people go, or what was the strategy for you?
Well, sadly, we had to put some people on a, gosh, I can't remember the term, but we had to downsize, definitely.
Okay.
And thankfully for government support, some of our staff are on that support scheme.
Okay.
And well, it's really sad to think that we might never be the Enfiniti we used to be like before, but still, everyone's working partly from home, partly in the office, and we're hoping that by next year, when things get better, we can bring the whole team back together again.
Right, I see. Okay,
Now
so
it's being lean and mean.
you had to make the hard, difficult decisions. Okay, got it. What about you, Lennise?
Yeah, fortunately for us, when last year, when my co-founder and I, we heard about the whole COVID-19 outbreak in China, right? We quickly had re-looked into our expenses and renegotiated to stretch cash flow payments for all our operating overheads and expenses. So because our team is very lean, so we are a team of 28 as of the moment. So we've managed to switch around and focus a lot more on sustainability. So as of the moment, I am my team and I, we are already profitable. We're a profitable business that can cover like our overheads. So because of that, we were very lucky actually.
Okay.
So really kudos to my co-founder. Like he was just digging up all these expenses and renegotiating all of that. So we were very lucky that happened. Yeah.
Do you do this exercise often, or it just happened to happen before? I mean, because you were planning.
No, we do that at least twice a year.
Okay, got it. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very good business strategy, actually.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer of really staying lean, kind of thing, until we start really showing, kind of thing. What about you, Kristy?
We've always operated in quite a lean manner. So our priority is to keep jobs. Our teams have been agile in the process. The production team, in fact, in week 3 of MCO, pivoted and we started producing PPEs just to get some source of revenue coming in and to help the frontliners. And so thankfully, and also the retail frontline team pivoted to become sales leads for the digital platforms. So that really helped in all aspects, at least shoulder a part of the revenue, because things need to be ongoing, right? And
yes, okay.
Yeah.
So you basically pivoted during that time to help take care.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
and I think it is what it is across the retail industry. No business is spared. That's the reality.
Okay.
But yeah, we choose to face this as a family and come out of it hopefully stronger together. Not easy, but we're trying.
Not easy. Yeah. Unfortunately, things are not easy. That's why, how do we handle when things are tough, right? Yeah. Because, I wouldn't know where to begin because I've never had that opportunity to kind of face that. But anyway, moving along, so you made all these changes. How did your customers or the market respond to it? Share some interesting experiences. Or what surprised you the most?
I think what surprised me the most was that we didn't realize we'd be reaching out and breaking borders with by going online. We were really just marketing Enfiniti v.Asia to Malaysians who wanted to watch all our shows but couldn't anymore. And suddenly here we go, here we were. It's an accidental reach out to the rest of the world, which is great. Yeah. Same thing with our performing arts and corporate training classes. It was actually like people from Indonesia who reached out to us, Singapore, and said, could we join your drama-based corporate training programs, which is excellent.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So you had leads coming in from overseas, yeah?
And we were like, oh, where'd you find us? Oh, you're online.
Okay,
let's go.
Wow. Okay. And was it difficult to set it up online, or you already had it, but it was a matter of going online?
No, we set it up during MCO.
Well done.
Put together a website now.
Okay. Well done. So MCO has been good for a lot of business. What about you, Lennise? How did your customers respond or the market respond, and what surprised or impressed you the most during this period?
Yeah, so for those of you who were in the last session and heard what Datuk Wei said, necessity is the mother of innovation.
Yes.
Right? I also believe in that. And I saw the outcome of that, where a lot of our, traditional wholesalers, where typically it takes us a couple of weeks to actually get them educated, get them on board and started using our platform to go online, right? That duration got cut in half. So during MCO, we saw a huge surge of traditional wholesale businesses coming up to us and saying that, hey, I am losing my offline sales. I need to bring it online. I need to still connect with my customers. Please help me just bring them, just set up my portal online for me ASAP. And we were like, are you sure? Do you need us to go through? It's like, I know everything. Just give me the manual and just jump on board. So we were very shocked and surprised how fast and how quickly they move. And again, it leads back to necessity, right? They needed this to happen. Necessity is also important for change.
Okay, cool. Sounds great. I love the pandemic as well. What about you, Kristy? How did the market respond to it? And what surprised you the most or impressed you the most?
Yeah, I think there was undeniably a shift of the customer expectations throughout the various phases of the NCO. So we were very blessed in the sense that in the first 2 weeks, so the first phase, right? Unfortunately, at the time, our inventory was all over in the warehouse, in stores, and it was pretty much locked down, right? So our customers were so understanding that they were still placing orders online, but they were agreeable to receive back orders like when we would be able to fulfill. But like early on in this session as well, we sort of didn't know when that was going to happen. You know what I mean? Because phase 1 became phase 2 and so on and so forth. But at some point, we had to get access to the inventory, and we were able to close out 680 orders in 4 weeks. And that was quite crazy for a very small, lean fulfillment team. So that also presented an opportunity for us to change up the organizational structure, right? To take fulfillment out of just digital and to make really the online platform just like another store as part of the entire business. So I think if any of you read the book from the 90s called Delivering Happiness, that was our main focus in those weeks. So Tony Zappler said it right. It was just delivering happiness. So whatever it took, deliver happiness, you know, and that's now coming out of this situation a little bit. It's I think it's something great to remember that any brand survival really starts from the customer journey.
Wow. Okay, fantastic. And you're right, it's delivering happiness. Okay, although we're stressed out and didn't sleep during that time, right?
I love it.
But delivering happiness and experience, right? Okay, now that all this has happened, has your business been forever changed? Will you be going back to the old business model, or it's completely changed, and how so? Tiara?
Well, I definitely, old business model is well, we're never looking back again. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, we're not looking back, just charging on forward and trying to make the most of life with the help of digital.
Okay, so you'll be using more digital. I have a personal question for you. How on earth do you teach people in a class digitally? I mean, I can do it as a trainer, but if there's like an acting or a dancing class, is it possible? I know the answer, but some of our viewers might not. So can you share with us how?
Well, Joanna Bessie has been doing it very successfully at Enfiniti Academy. So, oops, sorry about my cat.
It's the star of the show, by the way. Everyone loves it.
Yeah, everyone's chatting about it. Tiara,
are crazy.
Tiara, thank God you're pretty and your cat is pretty, because if it was a guy, it would be like Dr. Evil.
I know. Elo. Okay.
Yeah, you can put the cat there while you talk. No worries.
Okay. I've been trying to push her away. But yeah, anyway, yeah, it is very possible to teach online, just as people have been learning from home. And our students send us videos, and then we evaluate them from there, and yeah, it's
wow. Okay, so it is definitely possible. Just to share with the audience, I actually interviewed a lady who does what do you call those? It's not yoga, it's the other one. Classes online, Pilates class online, and they literally get results in 2 weeks. You can see the neck, the back all like, straight already.
What?
Yeah, in 1 month you actually lose weight. So I was like, whoa. And that's Pilates. Right. So what about you, Kristy, since I can see you here? Has your business been forever changed? Will you go back to the old business model, or is it full steam ahead? And how has it changed?
Yeah, I think I know definitely my own personal consumption habits have changed. So it's hard to expect our customers and as such, the industry as a whole to have stayed the same. I think the community would definitely have grown and learned in some way from this experience. And I suppose we all hope to come out of it with a little less waste and a lot more meaningful experiences, right? Of course, having said that, I do believe it will take time, conditioning, and all around a lot of support from the whole ecosystem. Someone in the comments earlier mentioned that, yes, we have a big competitor. I think that's absolutely right. We have huge competitors in the market, in the industry, but one key thing to take away from this is that your competitors are who make you stronger, right? It's no longer
Yes.
just about competition. It's really about collaboration and working together to contribute to this whole ecosystem. I think first and foremost, the designers themselves who have been churning season after season of magic is, you know, things need to change, and I'm glad that it's changing, you know, because we're all human. So, you know, it's just part of the natural process that has to take place. And I'm very grateful for that.
Could you share a little bit about Auri? Because it says it's by the digital community for the digital community. Yeah, could you share with us a little bit about that?
Yes, Ori. So Ori is our new brand, digital first. We saw a need for this about 9 to 10 months ago. It's a mass brand. Ori actually stands for actually you are the inspiration. So we're starting off with women's wear for all sizes. So we're not calling it plus size or regular size, for all sizes, right? And it's really about community building for women by women. And yeah, check us out online. It's new. We're currently online only, but in October we'll be having our first offline presence in Publica. So stay tuned.
Okay. Ooh, okay.
Kristy, how do you spell Ori? Yeah?
A-U-R-I.
Okay. Kristy, if you could put the website links in the comment section so people can check it out and stuff like that. What about you, Lennise? Has your business been forever changed? And is there like a new business model or something?
I think like for a tech startup, there will never be there will never be like a constant for us. It would always be forever changing. So definitely full steam ahead for us, right? And I think, but I'm speaking on behalf of our customers, our more traditional players that we have interacted with. The changes that we foresee for them is how they interact with the customers. More and more of them are doing that online and creating that experience online, from placing orders to handling like feedbacks, etc. So those are the stuff that we see them really adopting in such a fast speed, you know, like an amazing speed. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So if you had, okay, I'm gonna quickly, okay, there is a question here. Sean, Malaysian International Chamber of Commerce. With the inadequacy and high cost of Malaysian internet and latency, what steps?
That one was there for the last panel.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. I think there's no questions then. Everybody like commenting on the yeah. Okay, no problem. Okay.
We love the comment section. And
I know, yeah. So
Tiara
keep it up. Yes, exactly. Okay. Okay. If that's the case, then let me see. Nana. Okay, on hindsight, what was the most impactful actions you think you took on the onset of outbreak that really helped you? Whoever's ready.
Sure, I'll start.
Okay.
So on the evening of the 17th of March, that was the night before MCO, right? I remember being the last to leave the office. And now looking back, there was really a surreal sense of peace, that everything was going to be all right, despite what my human brain was telling me, of course. And I don't think even now, like, you know, I'm ready to sum up the most impactful of actions, but because we're still living through it. But I would have to say that trust in your team is very impactful. On that day, we had staff taking home desktops in order to be able to continue contributing. We had sewers bringing home garments to sew. At that time, we hadn't started the PPE yet, but it was just, okay, I'm gonna go home with this. I have a sewing machine at home. It's really that spirit of just doing what needs to be done. You know, I think coming out of this alive really has a lot to do with the people around you.
Okay, got it. So it was definitely team effort. I remember even Sinan from DD and Friends, he told everybody, all right, bring your laptop home, bring all the whatever home, we're gonna work from home. So they still continue making shows, yeah. What about you, Tiara?
Well, trust is you know, thank you, Kristy. That's what everyone did, and the team just really just stuck together as a family. And like, what else can we do? Like, usually I would be in sales, usually I'd be in this or that, but what else can I do for the team to just support everyone who's rushing to go online and trying to you know, we're suddenly going digital tomorrow, and everyone needs to learn up and to support each other differently. Our content creating team and graphics department people have been, like not sleeping at night, just trying to see how can we create graphics and new content for everyone who wants to go live tomorrow. So yeah, it's
Okay.
the team.
Okay, it's definitely the team. Okay, fantastic. Okay, since we don't have that much time left.
Nina, we actually have one question from
Rubia, right? Okay, so what we're gonna do is, Rubia, thank you for the question. So I'm gonna ask Rubia's question, and to end it off, another question. So has the operations, Rubia's question is, has the cost of operations increased with digital? And my question to finish everything off is, if you had one advice to give businesses out there, what would it be? So Lennise, can we start with you?
Cost of operations, no, at least for us. A lot of us still working from home. We have reduced our expenses significantly. But however, as we transition back to operating in person and going back to the office, right, we see those picking up again. But it's also to manage that for us, at least on a day-to-day basis. The advice I would like to give to everyone, especially out there who is looking to transform their businesses in any way whatsoever, is to do three things consistently. First is to learn. Keep learning and educating yourself about the way that businesses are operating during this period. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, attend conferences like these. These are definitely helpful for yourself, to educate yourself and upskill yourself. Second is to unlearn. So at points of at periods of your business, there are certain things that you need to unlearn from. So in the past that you received those information and it does not hold valid during this period, unlearn them quickly, right? And last but not least is to relearn. So once you've unlearned something, always figure out what else to actually pick new things up so that you can adopt to your business and change your business in a quicker, faster, and in the most cost-efficient way. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Tiara, what about you? Has your cost of operations increased with digital? And if you had one advice to give businesses and entrepreneurs out there, what would it be?
Well, it's not been more expensive in any way. Although we are using digital technology to market ourselves a lot more, but it's still nothing like it used to ever be. It's
okay,
a lot.
So it's actually cheaper.
It's cheaper, yeah. And
okay.
more efficient. We reach out to a lot more people than we could have before. I would say leaders of companies need to really be. You need to be the first people to adopt that and understand the technology, so you can help your team. Like, okay, I understand that this is how we can do things differently now. So as a leader of the company, you need to be on board and really get on that digital train and understand what's available very, very quickly. Learn so you can inspire your team. And businesses need to be agile enough so you can quickly assess what's going on here, and how do we pivot, so
okay. Yeah. Okay, I love that, how to be agile and pivot. What about you, Kristy? Is it more expensive to be digital, and what's your one advice to businesses out there?
I would say it's more targeted. I would say it's more expensive, but it's just about putting your resources in the right place and repositioning them where it matters. And there are ways to control the costs involved as well. Digital doesn't have to be expensive. I think that's the biggest myth. In fact, it's supposed to help us break down walls, to do things more efficiently and effectively. And in a few instances, it has. So it's a continuous learning journey. So don't give up, or just start, and it will lead you somewhere. That's one assurance I can give. Like I said, we come from traditional 23 years of retail. So really, it's possible. And the key advice would be to adapt. That's it.
All right. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies, for this amazing session. Tiara, somebody wants to know what kind of cat it is. And Kim Jun, you need to validate your business. Lennise helped you. Please follow all these amazing ladies on LinkedIn. You can connect with them there. And if there's anything I learned, it's about being adaptable and pivoting and, really get online. Thank you very much. I'm Nina signing off. Over back to you, Laurie.
Thanks, Nina. Oh my gosh, this panel was absolutely insane. I had so much fun listening to you guys. You kept it so lighthearted, and I think like your energy is just contagious at this point, like supercharged. I think Tiara, your cat is a Scottish Fold, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, my cat
Yay!
in the chat group.
There you go.
I thought this panel was absolutely amazing. I think we should immortalize this moment. You know how like after you finish an event and it's really, really good, we'll take a selfie. But since we're all at home, we should we can actually screenshot this later. So we just have to like hold a smile on the count of 3. Are we up for that?
Yes, definitely.
All right, fantastic. So let's smile. 1, 2, 3. All right, fantastic.
All right,
we can actually take screenshots of that later. Tiara, Nina, Kristy, Lennise, thank you so much for being a part of the SME Digital Summit 2020. Oh, the cat is here. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy.